Welcome everyone, and David, give a shout out.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, second. Oh yeah, we're in business.
Hey, this thing is on. It does work.
Oh my goodness. Welcome, David. Thank you so much for putting up with these technical difficulties. It's my first time having a guest on, on my show, on my streams, my new streams. So there we go, there we go. Everything's set. Now, David, say what's on your mind to the peeps out there because you are number one guest.
Well, it's kind of funny. I got home from a coffee run and turned on YouTube and I saw you had live and I was late to join it, but I heard some Shakespearean quotes and some references to uh, the silent treatment, and right away I remembered a previous relationship, very abusive on both parts. I have to own part of it, but she loved to give the silent treatment. After that relationship was over, I heard on the radio a song called Somebody That I Used to Know. And just a few lines into it, it made me think of her, not in a, oh, I miss her type way, but oh, yeah, glad I'm rid of her. The line was, but felt so lonely in your company. It was told myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. I actually did feel lonely when I was with her because she could really manipulate things and shut me out. And at the time, I didn't like to be shut out.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Somebody that I used to know, right? Is that the song? It was
Yeah, yeah. I
okay.
recently saw a funny version of it on YouTube. Four people are playing one guitar. It's a comedy spoof on it. It's they're playing the music of somebody I used to know, but they're kind of picking on the one guy at the end of the guitar that's making the clinking noise. Apparently, he's got a gambling habit or a drug habit, and he keeps pawning their equipment, so they're all sharing one guitar. I can't remember their name, but it's funny as hell.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that song actually. I love the melody in the background. They did a Star Wars version of that. It's pretty cool too. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that one yet.
Okay,
the
I
Star Wars that
haven't no.
yeah, just Google well YouTube search Star Wars that I used to know. It's hilarious if you were once upon a time in the Star Wars.
Oh, okay, yes.
All
Uh,
right.
when the original movie came out, I was in middle school or junior high school, as we called it back then, and I didn't have the good grades, so I got grounded, and I couldn't go watch it with all my buddies.
Oh no.
But I did finally watch it in the original trilogy. I'm more of a Star Trek fan, but I was
Yeah.
crushed as a seventh or eighth grader. I can't go watch Star Wars. I
No, I
haven't
tell you,
read your book yet. I bought two copies. Oh, go ahead.
oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think there's enough of delay that we accidentally talk over each other. It was your turn. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that Star Wars holds its weight to this day. The models and everything, that's art, pure art. It never gets old. You know what he did was magic back then.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, you mentioned on your last live stream that I bought two of your books. I did. I'm waiting for a time that I can give my lady friend one and me one, and we'll read a little bit each, and then get together and discuss. Because she's highbrow, I'm lowbrow. She's got a bachelor's degree. I got a GED. I guess you can count my EIB and PLDC and BNOC, but it still doesn't come close to a bachelor's degree. But I did, when you reminded me that I bought the two books, I'm going to do this. I just opened the one page, it just thumbed it open on page 57, a random opening, and you're talking about transportation. And it hit me. My favorite time I'm with this lady is when we're driving somewhere. Uh, that's when we really lose ourselves from the world and connect to each other and just talk. And it's until my occasional road rage, and then she takes the other guy's side, and I get all bent out of shape. But other than my own fault road rage, transportation, when we're traveling together, I think is our best times. uh, on the G-rated level. There's some better times on the other levels.
Oh wow, that is
Am I
just
rambling?
no, no, that's absolutely awesome. The fact that your guys are gonna read it together, that's like a dream come true for me because that's exactly what I desired, for couples to do is to either read a copy together or discuss it. That's phenomenal. So thank you so much for taking this seriously. Because other people, they just kind of buy a copy and skim around and they kind of give me some feedback, but I don't get too often a couple, they both have a copy instead of just one, or somebody trying to find a soulmate who's single. So thank you
Mhm.
so much for taking this really seriously, and I just wish the best that you guys really enjoy and it's useful to you guys.
Thank you, thank you. Oh,
If you want
um,
to, if you
also,
want
when
to,
I
yeah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, if you want to introduce your channel, what you do, because maybe some people, they didn't click on your link yet.
Oh, okay. I am David Finkel. I have a YouTube channel called David Finkel, and I have a sub channel. It's not very popular. It's political and commentary Finkel. Uh, I think I might have a whopping 50 or 60 subscribers in that one. But my main channel, my main thing is along the lines of a First Amendment audit. I don't really consider myself an auditor, but I use the phraseology from that community because what I like to do is well, since COVID-19 came out, I'm avoiding the COVID-20. The COVID-20 is the poundage we gained from sitting around the house in isolation, eating Uber delivered Big Macs. So yeah, I put on some pounds, and I thought, well, let's go up there with the camera and do what these guys do. I try to be more polite, but the idea is I walk around in public with the camera, trying to stay on public property and just gauge people's reactions. And sadly, the more popular videos are the ones with the more negative reactions. But it's part of the fun of YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, like a social experiment, as you said. So, but I gotta
Yes.
say, it's interesting because you're not, you don't not to call yourself an actual auditor, but you do such a great job compared to all the other auditors. So, in my opinion, you're top of the top
Oh,
when it comes to auditing because you're professional, you compose yourself, and you also defend yourself, with the passion against these psychos out there, and it's just so refreshing to see that wow, there's a guy who stands his ground and who is making a difference and a great example for others to follow.
no. Well, thank you. I think the best example to follow as far as auditors go. An auditor, I'm using a colloquialism or a metaphor. A real auditor works for something like the GAO or the FDA, and they audit organizations to make sure they're doing right. When we say a First Amendment auditor, it's kind of it's not an official thing. We're not officially auditing. What was my point? But the ones the ones I like the most for professionalism I think one's name is Nasty Nathaniel, and he works with a lady called First Amendment Rights or something like that. They're always very polite. Even when someone gets nasty with them, they keep that politeness. I have to admit, sometimes I lose my polite streak when I'm little T triggered. uh, but I'm in 2024. I'm going to try to emulate them, not in their content. I don't think I'll ever do a church. Maybe I did Church of Scientology once, but I don't like the idea of going of scaring people while they're coming in and going out churches. But I am going to emulate them on staying nice, staying polite. Um, there were a few times I got a little rude, and I'm kind of ashamed when I watch them, but there's an entertainment value, and entertainment is view counts. And if I'm not monetized, but if I was monetized, that would mean more money. But I'm not about the money. Actually, I'm spending money on it. Caught
Yeah,
my attention this morning when I came back from my coffee run, as I see you're live, and when I popped into it, I see some Shakespearean references.
yeah,
Um, to thine own self be true. Actually, I think I posted that. You mentioned All the world is a stage. I, with my GED and EIB and PLDC and BNOC, consider myself inaccurately a worldly man, a man of culture, and I'm suave and debonair. I'm sorry, I'm suave and debonair. You know what I'm trying to say. And the truth is, my sweetie is she has a bachelor's degree. She's highbrow, and she has the eyebrow. And the funny thing is about all this, yesterday, or if you prefer, last year, she took me to a cultural event. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm smooth. I recognize things. I know things, right? And the cultural event was a show at the Shakespearean Theater across from the Capital One Center. It used to be the Verizon Center, and before that, it was the MCI Center. It's where the Caps play, but just across the street is a Shakespearean Theater. And she took me to a show called As You Like It. And she sold me on it because it had a lot of Beatlemania references in it. So I'm like, sure, that sounds cultural, and I'm going to, dress nicely and take the lady out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It started out with a cheesy wrestling scene, like fake TV wrestling from the 1960s, and after the wrestling scene, it went right into the show, and the actors are all talking what I recognize to be Shakespearean type talking. I don't recognize it. I don't recognize the storyline because I'm not cultured like I think of myself. And we get to halftime, and I thank her for taking me. I'm really enjoying it. And then after the halftime, the intermission, they get back into it. And one of the actors starts with the all the world's a stage, and every man and woman an actor, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, I turned to my sweetie. I said, that's from a real Shakespeare show. And she turned at me and gave me the raised Vulcan Spock eyebrow.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize it until just then that it was original Shakespeare play. They just put it in a 1960s wrestling uh, hippie setting, but the lines and the characters were right out of the original Shakespeare play, As You Like It. I didn't know that. I know from school Julius Caesar, references to Hamlet and Macbeth, but I never realized as you like it is where World Stage was, and actually every line that they spoke was from the original Shakespeare play. And I felt so stupid and so lowbrow, but she didn't make me feel that way. She kind of laughed with me, and we enjoyed the ride back home. But I found it funny this morning when I stumbled across your relationships related live stream. You had some Shakespearean references, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm on a Shakespearean kick now.
Yeah, the reason why I know that quote is, through the truth community back in 2013 when I got back from Afghanistan. I checked out
Hmm?
YouTube and I saw all this truth movement, and I was like, whoa, this is some incredible stuff and stuff that you can't talk to other people about because they'll label you crazy if you believe any of it. And I actually do believe a lot of it, but that's why I had to
Yeah.
keep it out of the public because they'd probably crucify me for that. So, but all I gotta say is that yeah, when you study, if you have the guts to, you have the brain to, the courage to rather, you do find out, oh my goodness, I've been lied to all my life, and then you go down the rabbit hole, and but then there's lots of infighting in the truth community, so it's been torn apart. Nobody likes each other anymore, and
Hmm.
it's happening to the First Amendment community too. And I'm like, oh great, this is how it starts. Popularity
Yeah.
contests, and I just lost a couple of subscribers this morning because I did the last video, most likely on why activism, the number one problem. And I'm like, hey, touche,
Hmm.
go ahead. I mean, I want 100 lions, not 1,000 sheep, by my side. If that offends you, feel sorry for you. So, it's just my opinion. Let's discuss it. But people have their temper tantrums and they just bounce.
I I like that. I'd rather have 100 lions than 1,000 sheep. Is that yours? I'm going to write it down. I'm going to steal that quote.
Actually, I got that from Rambo 3. I'll be honest. When
Oh, shame on me. Oh, I should have caught that. Okay, yes.
No, it's from someone, but the Mujahideen guy, he was telling Rambo, um, that's what they believe. They consider themselves dead already, so that's why they're
Mm,
heroes. That they fight so well. Fighting somebody who considers themselves already dead and with 100 lion mentality, like Spartan mentality. It's pretty similar to
yeah.
the Spartans. So the 300. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, absolutely. This is a great introduction. I just want to let's get these slides out of the way because you're our special guest, and just to keep those who are watching this for relationship purposes, I brought David
All
on
right.
not just because he's always going to be the guest here, but these are 1960s women. But let's start from the beginning, shall we? I just want your opinion on 1930s. What's your opinion when you see this image right here from the 1930s, David? What can you tell us?
I'm not seeing it on YouTube. Should I go to the Voodoo?
Oh, it's
I'm not seeing
popping
it on
up.
Voodoo either.
It'll pop up right
Okay.
now.
I see a young warrior with something that looks like an M16, only smaller.
Oh no, that's the. No, you got to open up the stream, so it's
Am I, in the,
yeah, you got it.
am I in the wrong
No, I
stream?
think you are. Yeah, because I got to delete that one. It popped up wrong. Let me see if that's actually the image. I hope that's not the image.
I don't think we're live. Oh, wait. Okay. I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, I'm
Let
looking
me
at
see.
the right one now. I'm looking at a 1930s. Sweetie, if you're watching, I don't know her.
Oh man. Right, right. So you think because this is pretty attractive in my opinion. 1930s. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Men these days they just want I don't know, almost naked bodies to show, and I guess that's what they're into. But how do you see like because you're from when were you a teenager? Which decade?
Teen years was the late 70s, early 80s. Uh, I think we discussed earlier when you were born in 82. I was
Hmm.
17, joining the National Guard right out of high school.
Okay.
Uh, so the MTV Madonna type culture.
All right, sweet. So what do you think about the women from the 1930s just based off of this image here?
I think this is a very attractive image. I'm wondering if the photographer, knowing that they're doing it in black and white, got the shades just right so it catch the male eye that it almost looks like a nude at a glance. Once you look a little closer, she is covered, but um, yeah,
Oh yeah.
thin, shapely, glamorous. I guess this is a glamour shot.
All right. So not too much yet. We'll move on to the 1940s. This is
Okay.
a little bit goofy, but a little bit more playful. What's your idea about this one here?
Oh yeah, the USO showgirl entertaining the troops. That's the image I get. Uh,
Right,
yeah, a little
right. All
hometown
the
look, but showing leg. Yeah, again, catering to the probably the male soldier. You're gonna put this up on your wall locker or on your bulkhead on the ship.
yeah, pinup girls, right? All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's move on to the 1950s. Here is it getting spicier, or are we going the opposite direction?
I think the first picture was spicier than this, but okay. Now we're in the. This is the 50s.
Right,
Okay, showing
1950s.
more leg. I think legs were important in that era. Um, I'm really kind of kicking myself because I'm judging pictures of women.
It's okay.
I'm feeling like a teenager again, judging women on their looks.
Yeah. Well, the reason
Is
why
the one on
I'm
the left, is
doing
that
this
Marilyn
is
Monroe?
because oh yeah, well probably a look-alike, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think because Marilyn Monroe had that mole on her face somewhere.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no, the reason why just showing these is because it's very interesting. I like to get an elder's opinion, if you will, not to make you feel old, but your experience.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm in my 41th year, so I'd love to chat about what people think, both male and female.
Good.
It's not judging women per se. It's just appreciating the beauty of those times, and it's gone. It's gone forever. Nobody's ever going to be
Yeah.
dressing up like this unless they're making a remake or something, and it's no longer authentic. And then now we got
Right.
taken over by technology and everything, and nobody's really the same, and nobody's really innocent anymore. I mean, there's still a few people, but I mean, love is under attack. So I'm just trying to see which part of
Ah,
these,
yes.
what kind of beauty you appreciate, or maybe perhaps miss. Here we are in the '60s, getting closer, so it's a good time to be alive in the '60s, don't you think? Maybe.
I think so. There are all three examples here are given the eye contact, or trying to make eye contact with the camera. You're not so much focused on the body parts, more on the eye, maybe a little bit on the hair. Um, and I find some quality to that. Call me a geezer, if you will, because I'm focused on eyes and hair. I guess when I was younger, I would focus on other attributes, if you will.
Right, right. That's natural. Yeah, so this is when they start to be more playful and glamorous. The
Hmm.
'60s is sad though because of the whole Vietnam War. The draft. Real big dent, and the hippie movement got shot down by drugs.
Hmm.
Marijuana, all that stuff. It's just kind of sad, but great time to be alive regardless. Maybe I say maybe because if you're a guy, you're pretty much done for. If it was a draft, so here we move on to the '70s, and any pinup memories here.
Not for me, but I do. I can see 70s in this. This is when I'm in adolescence, and I might look up these kind of ladies in adult magazines that I wasn't allowed to look at. Uh,
Right, right.
it looks like they're trying to sell sexuality here, which there was a time in my life and testosterone levels and hormones that, yeah, this this is what I want. Now, in my 50s, the term, and I shouldn't use it, but the term slut comes to mind. But shame on me,
Mm.
because when I was a certain age, yeah, give me the bad girl image.
Oh,
Is
okay, I
that a
see.
term, bad girl? I know they like bad boys, but
Yeah, well, I heard well, somebody that we both know kind of thinks along that lines for religious purposes. I don't mean I don't want to name him because unless he's a guest, I believe, but he thinks that short skirts is not good, and so you kind of agree with that because I just believe as long as it's a scenario where okay, this is art, this is being a model, this is not pornography, it's just a woman showing the power of femininity, the sexual power, sexuality, the feminine beauty. I mean, because
yeah, sure.
the word slut would come, for instance, for me, only the actions, like you're cheating on five guys. I think, but this here, a woman's, because we're meant to be naked, by the way, but it's,
Fair enough.
the occult societies that rule this whole world, if you will, they force us to put clothing on to form a
Yeah.
civilization slash democracy, whatever the heck that means. A controlled society where it's indecent to
Mhm.
be what you are, born naked, and now you have to cover yourself. And I always kind of disagree with that, but that's okay, because a total anarchy, we would all be naked or do whatever you would want. Like there's nude beaches still.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think this is slutty in my opinion, but it's okay. To each their own. I just think it's
Well,
fashion, it's art, it's beauty.
yeah. Yeah. Again, they're for that era. These are quote glamour shots, I guess. This is what society is told is sexy. They're uh, so yeah. I guess somebody in his 50s looking back on that, I have my curmudgeonly opinion. I guess this was the normal, what, 60s and 70s, all that free love stuff, and
Mm.
which I'm not trying to negatively judge. I don't know how else to articulate it.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Whatever comes to mind. That's what makes it unique.
Um,
Now we're here. We're gonna
I
we're
guess what
gonna
I'm saying is,
go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna. Um,
Oh,
I was gonna
Yeah,
go on.
I,
Yeah.
I I guess I'm kind of ashamed of myself for using the word slut. Okay, this is more current. What we're told is sexy.
1980s. This is
Oh,
1980s.
this is the
So
'80s. Oh, this is the MTV. Okay,
here
this
we're
is
really
when I was.
pushing it.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
when I was watching Madonna on MTV, and I can't remember the TV stars, but yeah, Charlie's Angels, that kind of stuff.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wait, that was more '70s, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, good. It's still good stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, 1980s with the perm in the hair,
yeah.
and then we got the heavy makeup and the warm. What is it? The knee warmers, the socks that go all the way up to the knees, and
Oh yeah, the leggings,
the
the,
leggings. Yeah.
the
Now in
hair,
yeah.
the red hair in this could easily be transferred to a male '80s heavy metal rock band.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, males are had long hair too. Interesting point. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that because it's personality galore.
right,
People unfortunately they just would rush to cut their hair. I'm like, hey, and during the Vietnam War, it was said that they used the Native Americans to find the hidden Viet Cong because they had long hair. That's a connection to their intuitive abilities. They say it was their long hair that helped them, and they were asking why do you shave your
right.
soldiers' hair off because they could have that same intuitive. And I'm asking the same question. Whoa, I didn't even know this experiment existed. So it was really fascinating.
Hmm. I always thought the head shaving thing was to keep lice out of the basic training open bay barracks.
Yeah, on the American side, but if you look up, I
Yeah.
think Native American pathfinders, they used them specifically in the
Oh,
Vietnam War to seek out the Viet Cong who were hidden underground. They had this intuition because they claimed that it was due to their long hair. So go figure. You just got to go read it and give your opinion on it. It's interesting though.
okay.
But yeah,
Now, I'm not. I think I know who you're talking about, but I'm not sure who you're talking about a little while ago when you said he's negative on the mini skirt. I'm fine with a mini skirt or a tight skirt. Uh,
hmm
Inappropriate situations. I've seen skirts so short that you're seeing butt cheek in public.
yeah, no, no,
I
right.
I, I don't really buy into that, but something above the knees, even if it's tight, uh,
Right.
I'm fine with that. I don't negatively judge that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you that you don't go to like a restaurant with a super mini, that you can see the panties or something. I
Yeah,
totally agree with you. There's a time and occasion for that. I totally agree with you on that. Just being appropriate, right? You
yeah.
can bend the curves a little bit. Let's fast forward to the 90s. This is a little bit
All right.
more glamour in the sense of let's see, Victoria's Secret style. Yeah, so lots of romantic
For a minute, I
movies.
thought that was Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
her, doesn't it? Yeah.
it does. Yeah.
So you remember all the romantic
Uh,
soap operas, like what is it, General Hospital from the 80s and 90s, and then Melrose
yeah.
Place, what is it, Beverly Hills 90210. I mean, I
Oh
loved all the
boy.
romance shows and movies, and 1990s was just so feminine. I loved it. I mean, I had homework to do
Mhm.
in school, and I would stay up late to watch all these shows, plus the cartoons. It's insane.
Yeah, yeah. A good part of my '90s was, well, '91 I was in Korea, '93 through '96 minus Bosnia was in Germany, and then of course Bosnia. So when I saw something like this, it was refreshing because, uh, well, in Bosnia, women were pretty. I don't know what the word is. Conservative in their dress.
Right.
Not so much Germany, but yeah, it was just this American culture. I missed out on a lot of it in the '90s, but you catch it in reruns.
And both of us grew up without computers, and for me, computers was became late '90s. Mavis Beacon typing, and I love to type
Hmm.
fast. I was like, whoa, 40, 60 words per minute or whatever, and cool games and stuff. The typewriter was still there, still use it for school, but and then email and pornography came in with online gaming. Like just three things. That was all people focused on was email, gaming, online
Yeah.
gaming, and then pornography. I was like, the pornography was a real, stain on the whole technology introduction to computers because it literally got people so in trouble at work, at home. These
Yeah.
pen pal, it was literally chaos dumped in the '90s, in the mid '90s, right when the whole Clinton scandal with Miss Lewinsky. It was just insane how here you go, society. Learn how to handle this powerful thing called pornography. And I'm sitting there as a kid like, "Oh my goodness, just information overload, taboo,
Yeah.
taboo," until I had to grow up and understand it that it's not pornography is not the problem. That should be a gift to learn a lot of things by not having to go through negative experiences and being like it teaches you to know, if you use it as a tool, what you like to see, what you would like to experience, and share that with your partner.
Mm,
But everybody's like, no, this is the
yeah.
devil incarnate, and this is not allowed. And well, that's not freedom, is it?
That's a good point. Yeah. I like what you said about sharing with your partner. If yeah, if you can enjoy it together, I think it's tasteful for whatever relationship you're in. If you can't enjoy it together, then either the relationship's wrong or the content is wrong. It's
Yeah.
sometimes go either way. But yeah,
Yeah.
my first civilian full time job was a help desk at the GAO. The GAO primarily audits other federal agencies, and people in the GAO would call us to help with their Windows 3.1 or Windows 95 issues.
Yeah.
And had an auditor call me, a real auditor, not a First Amendment auditor, a GAO auditor, called, and he was yelling and screaming. And when I got him calmed down, figured out his problem was uh, he was he was auditing the State Department, and in his research, it wasn't Google back then. I think it was Yahoo or I can't remember the search engine, but he searched for international relations, and the sites that came up first were the kind of sites that would get you fired from the GAO for hitting on a G. And he was so full of fear, and I'm like, well, if you got into it and you backed out of it, I'm sure information security will understand.
Yeah.
But we didn't dupe you into it, and that's when we first got into blocking such sites. At that point, we didn't block, and we just punished.
Yeah, absolutely. See that's the thing about the '90s and the early 2000s is, the '90s was a big dump of a preview of technology of what's to come. Automizing jobs, so automating jobs. So now there's a lot of job loss, a lot of layoffs in the car industry and manufacturing industry of other products and goods and even services. So people getting laid off with technology, and then the bomb, the complete, just the intercontinental bomb of pornography, if you will. And then so the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2000s just hit, and the 2000s was kind of more of the same. But then when the iPhone was released, it didn't quite catch on that fast. 2011, I believe, the first iPhone. And then 2012, forget about it. So we went to flip phones with everybody in, because it used to be pagers, everybody showing off with the pagers
Mm-hmm.
or their cell phone inside the limousine or whatever. And then so we went to the flip phones, and everybody's just acting so cool. If you got two phones, you were just the man, right? But when the iPhone came out,
Yeah.
you're just the busiest and most important guy. So, when the iPhone came out, now it's even more mayhem because you have portable TV right when the TV was dying. No, people were
Oh
sick
yeah.
of cable TV. Now the new television people is what we're doing now, social media and everything. Swipe left, swipe right, entertainment galore, including pornography and everything else in between. Email at the touch of a fingertip. What do you think about that drastic change?
I on one hand, I think it's great that at the touch of I used to laugh at the old Star Trek shows when the guy would have something called a tricorder, and you could see weather, you could see life forms nearby. You could do so much with a handheld device. And then I thought it was the greatest thing in the world when we actually had iPhones or other smartphones where you could see the weather, or you could see how close by your friends were. You could talk, text, surf the internet. You know, I thought they were really great. But now, when my sweetie and I go out to spend some quality time in a nice restaurant, you look around the restaurant and everybody, families, couples, people out there by themselves, they got their nose down in their phone the entire time. They're not enjoying life more. And it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's nice that they have access to all that, but on the other hand, I think it's adding to the growing problem of isolation. I'm not out in public to enjoy the culture. I'm out in public to look at my iPhone. That's just it seems like such a waste.
Yeah. Hope.
God, I am old.
No, don't feel old at all, man. Um, like you said, Renaissance man. It really does project really well. You're well rounded because it was I think it's not necessarily technology is the problem. It's just like the pornography, just like the new fashion that we just saw in the 80s and 70s getting really you know promiscuous, right? So really daring. So I
Mhm.
think I think it's just how people handle it. The absorption, the shock effect. I think it's gonna last 10 years, 20 years, and then we're like, okay, this is not such a big deal. Where's the next where's the next biggest thing, right?
Right.
So here, let's move on to the 2000s. All out, just sensual warfare. I
Okay.
think.
Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Before you move on to the 2000s,
Oh,
your next
oh.
picture is going to be from an era when I was in my first silent treatment. Oh, okay. This is what I missed.
This is
Oh,
what
this
you
is
missed.
this is what's that opposite of He-Man?
You talking about
The Amazon lady, Shira.
yeah, Shira, yeah.
Shira. Well, I mean, this is Shira, but I mean, this is the kind of image that, yeah, okay, the strong woman,
Yeah,
the woman
you
who will
see
kick your ass.
you see the sunglasses there, the bikini, but I like the curves on this
Oh,
one. Strong upper body, fitness, in 2000s. You got the Pilates just really coming in to replace the 90s yoga. We got stronger women. Nowadays they're all on steroids, unfortunately. So yeah, what's your take
mhm.
on the 2000s?
um, well, on one hand, I can respect her. On the other hand, she scares me. I'm a guy who doesn't articulate well, and with my current sweetie, I get the raised eyebrow. And when I get the raised eyebrow, I get the dry mouth. I get kind of scared. Uh, but the raised eyebrow is just the skeptical look. You really didn't know this was the real Shakespeare show? Okay. Uh, uh, this woman give me the right raised eyebrow, I would start running.
So, what do you think is so? Is there an intimidation factor here by the beauty or by the strength?
Yeah, I don't know. This is from the early 2000s, where I was. The silent abusive woman that I was with was actually very small and petite.
Oh,
Uh, so I'm not really sure. Uh, I, I do find this sexy, not necessarily in the scantily claddedness of it. Uh, Obviously, some men are going to focus on just above the sunglasses, the
right.
that shape there. Um, but I guess she's truly a liberated woman, not the 60s and 70s burn your bra liberated women, but I mean this looks like an era where women can be as independent as men.
Right, right. Yeah,
I
it's
think is how I
when
interpret it. This whole exercise is like the psychiatrist who puts the ink spot in front of you. It can mean something totally different
Yeah, well,
depending on your mood.
yeah, just for this stream because future streams will have a theme that we both agree on. I just wanted to surprise you with this one as an intro.
You did
Um,
take me by surprise.
yes, that's really good. I love an honest opinion, impromptu. But yeah, this is the only one, promise. But yeah, for me, I prefer petite as well because it's not really intimidating. It's too much to handle literally when she's taller than me. I don't. I don't mind breast augmentation. That's her choice, her body, her choice. Just don't go too big because then it looks really ridiculous. Where it's a health issue for her lower back and everything.
Right.
And then women doing these gluteal implants, if you will, that's very dangerous because it could burst and spread. Luckily, we're past the silicone. Now we're into the saline implants. So, and then men are getting implants to look more muscular, and then injection with oils. It's getting out of control, and steroids, obviously. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much all the slides that I have to show you. But is there anything in particular that you wanted to discuss with my audience because it should grow soon? And then we'll definitely have some good streams ahead. Things in particular that you would like to do, especially.
Oh, I can't really think of any message I want to relay except for I'm looking forward to this two-person book club that I'm going to join in with my sweetie, um, and see. A few years ago, before pandemic, I, I was going to a vet center. They're kind of like an offshoot of the VA, but it's completely anonymous. If you're dealing with PTSD or other post-military issues, you can get one-on-one counseling and group counseling. But what I really liked about them for most of the folks is if you get this kind of counseling at the actual VA, there's a record of it. It's not anonymous. And people, especially veterans, are very nervous about the stigma of PTSD or other post military problems, uh, and it being on an official record, for things like security clearances or what have you. So these vet centers, um, I won't say they perform the 12 steps like a 12-step program, but they are big on anonymity. Once I got involved with this, other groups sometimes leave brochures there, and they left the brochure for couples. I can't remember how they phrase it, but they're very clear. It's not for couples in trouble who want to save the relationship. It's for couples who are in a good relationship and want to make it better. And it was
Yes,
hosted down in
yes.
Colonial Williamsburg, is where our hosts put it on. So me and my sweetie went down there for a weekend event, and it was really wonderful. We had group sessions on communication skills and love languages. Apparently, there's more than one love language. There's things you do for each other, things you say for each other. Uh, I articulate badly, but I think I got off on a tangent. Vet centers, couples. To be honest, I forgot where I was going.
No,
But
yeah, it's really awesome though.
if you're a couple out there, I like the idea for any kind of couples therapy or counseling or, or like this program that was put on. I like the idea. Don't do it to save a condemned relationship. If your relationship is doomed, let it go. I didn't find my sweetie until I was 49. I'm 58 now. We're going almost 10 years. 48 years of going through crappy relationships that I would fight to save, or I thought I was fighting to save. I ended up fighting in the relationship, and the relationship just got worse and worse and worse. You have to start out with a good relationship, and I think I think the main thing for me and my sweetie is honesty. Not can I carry her purse her without taking her money from her. That is important, but emotional honesty. If uh, if she says something that upsets me, and now I'm in a stage in my life where I don't just blow up and try to punish her for it, but I'm kind of fuming and gritting my teeth. She'll ask me, "Did I upset you?" The kind of honesty says, "Yes, I'm upset, but I'm going to deal with it and process it and work it out. I'm not going to take it out on you, that kind of thing. Uh, I, I, I found her and she found me because I think we're just in a stage of our lives where that is more important. That if she says, "Are you upset with me?" No, and then I refuse to pass her the pepper at the dinner table, or I go out with the guys just to punish her. Um, again, I think you're listening to an old geezer rambling. Can I share my screen?
Well, let's see your screen. I think we had to connect your video setting. We got we just got the audio setting, so I don't know if
Oh,
oh, send it through me through email and I'll
well,
slap it up here. I can slap it up here.
actually, a few minutes after I log off of this, I'm going to post a video on an experience, well, the whole theater experience she gave me, and how I am a self-centered dork when not called out on it. And just this morning on the back from my, thank God she was in the car. She would have taken the other guy's side. I had a little road rage, and
Oh.
by the time I caught up with the guy and he went into the diner, didn't even notice me. And that kind of pissed me off too, that he didn't notice me. I'm like, hey, I'm mad at you. I want you to notice me. Uh, I started thinking, what if she was with me? How would have she handled this? How did she handle my road rage? And I, I guess my point is, in a long about inarticulate way, is on the being honest with each other. Don't just act the way you would want your partner to act because your partner is watching. Act the way you would want your partner would want you to act because that's the person you want to be for your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm I'm ashamed of my road rage this morning, and it's not something I would want her to see. But I have to be honest about it, and to uh, face my problem of road rage, I have to be honest about it. I had road rage this morning, and the guy I was road raging against didn't give a crap.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
Interestingly,
guess I don't. For whatever wisdom you can get out of that, there it is.
no, you did say some
I'm
wise
sorry. Go ahead.
words. No, you did say some wise words. Absolutely. I'll add on that in my relationship, it's the opposite. She's the one with the road rage, and she admires me
Oh.
because there was a couple of times where I had to not slam on the brakes, but hit the brakes hard, squeaking the streets because these guys would just cross at the last second. And after the whole incident, she'd say, "How do you keep calm? How did you just keep driving like nothing?" I said, "Well, the most important thing to do in any situation is remain calm." So I think the army really tested my patience and my instincts,
Mm.
and to be always vigilant and aware, even when you don't have any sleep and they torture you like that. Staff duty is the worst thing about the army or CQ, where you got to protect nothing but a stupid crate or a desk or the barracks. And for 24 hours, I'm not kidding people, 24 hours sitting at a stupid desk. And then your sergeant's like, wake up, go walk around, walk it off. Are you kidding me? And you gotta energy drinks, water, push-ups. You're sweating underneath that stupid uniform. I say stupid because it's just
Mm.
so humiliating, Inspector Gadget style. Like, this is your life, PTs and Army combat uniform. That's it. And 24-hour staff duty is the absolute. That's why I would never do it again. It's the most humiliating, ridiculous. Like, why are we? I mean, in an age of cameras everywhere and rapid response,
Ah.
we're sitting here at
Mm.
a desk because, oh, we're supposed to train you to be able to stay awake in times like, in combat. What if you fall asleep? And we got to keep you pissed off. No, thank you.
I hear you and I agree you. If you're staff duty NCO or staff duty runner or actual CQ or CQ runner,
Right.
it can be demeaning better for you. And you probably had it. You just didn't think of it right off the top of your head. Motor pool guard.
Yes. Yes. Just
They,
guarding a
they give you a stick.
Connex.
They give you a flashlight. Yeah.
Like,
I'm like,
why?
come on, man.
And we were sitting in a car,
Or sometimes they give you an M16 of no clip. I'm like, come on, anybody with half a brain will know that the
Oh.
M16 is nothing more than a billy club.
Right,
without a
right.
magazine, you know.
Let me just hit you with this butt stock, you know.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, so it's just all a game in the army to punish the soldiers, keep them upset because that makes the best warriors in their opinion. Luckily,
Yeah.
I think they're trying to change that nowadays though. No more yelling and treats, because we want to feel like professionals, man. I mean, I was 27 when I signed up. I want to be treated like an adult. I'm way past those high school, middle school days. Come on, man.
Yeah. I
But
always found the best warriors, and it includes if you watch the movie Patton, uh,
mhm.
or if you watch these older movies about Greeks or Romans. And I think I plugged it when I plugged your phone. A true warrior is also a poet and a philosopher, and that's what I see in you. Uh, on the back of your book, you got this mean-looking guy carrying a 5.56 launcher. Is that an M16? That's not an M16, is it?
No,
That's something
M4.
newer.
Yeah, they're the smaller M4s.
M4. Okay, it's like an M16, only smaller. And on the
Yeah.
other side of the book, you have is that your lady?
Well, that's the my cover model that I give credits in the back of the book. My lady, I have to
Oh,
keep
okay.
a
Oh, okay.
mystery. I have to keep my lady a mystery because she is wanted by not the FBI, but let's say offline trolls, and me too, myself. But I will do face reveal myself because her case
Uh,
is a little
yeah.
bit more extreme. And I can tell you, why we were both exiled from our families. It's an interesting story. Definitely for another time. I want to get an audience started, and then I can share more and more about myself. Personal things that I do want to share. But for now, just to protect everybody, because let's
Oh,
say I didn't have a Disney background, so and she didn't either. So it's kind of one
yeah.
of those scenarios.
Ben, I want to thank you. I'm halfway through editing a video that I'm going to post, and in two or three shots, my lady's next to me. You just reminded me. I'm going to blur her face, not because I'm ashamed of her, but
Hmm.
because I don't want the trolls to see her. And I've pissed some people out there off in
Right,
the YouTube
right, right. Yeah,
world,
yeah, online and offline in
so I
my
don't want to
case.
take them out on her. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to blur her face. Thank you. She'll probably thank you too if she. First, she'll say, "Why'd you blur my face?" And then I'll explain it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, if she doesn't have any enemies, that's okay. But it's really offline and online.
Yeah.
For example, we had our families were okay once upon a time, but then they went south, to the evil side, and so they're out there, and also people that we've known that they just don't like us. They don't like us because I guess we're always happy, and then there's
Well,
online and offline trolls. It's just what a mess.
this applies to some of my family, not all of them. We all have variations in family, but there's an acronym, Family of Origin. And if you spell that out, it's FOO.
Yeah, it's definitely foo.
FOO. Hey, FOO.
Sometimes you can't deal with that foo.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is
All right, Ben. I think we're over 30 minutes.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Thanks for putting up with the impromptu women here. But definitely next time we'll have a far more focused topic, and we'll definitely keep it to 30
I,
minutes.
I think I think the whole women image thing, you're trying to get me in trouble. But I think you failed. I think I'll be okay.
No, no, you'll be just fine. When you go offline, that's the real picture right there.
There you go. All right, my brother. Have a good New Year.
Yeah, same to you. And if you ever need a topic that you want to stream on this channel that can kind of blend with my theme, um, then we'll bring it right over. All right.
Okay.
All
If I
right.
ever figure this out, I'll host you sometime. I just haven't figured it out yet.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for joining me, and have a good day or night wherever everybody is.
Okay.